Alright everyone, this is Blackfoot Raven, and I'm going to be showing you a more of a casual deck I've been messing around with. If you saw at the first part of the video, I may have accidentally slipped what it was, but we are going to be doing a Bermuda Triangle deck profile today. It's going to be of Riviere. Now you're probably wondering, why the hell are you making a Riviere deck? That deck is so old. Well, for those of you who haven't been living under a rock, there is new support, particularly in one set of cards, so I decided to, because I originally had a fun deck that was pretty much Riviere plus the Break Ride. That can be for another time, but we're more focusing on this deck. So, this is Mermaid Cadet Riviere. You'll find out what she does later. For the trigger lineup, very basic, 8 criticals. Because Bermuda does draw a lot anyways. 4 heal triggers and 4 draw triggers. Now for the grade 1s. Now, I have not memorized all of these girls' names, but I will eventually. So, 4 copies of her. I do not remember what her name is. I'm very sorry. But what she does is if she's returned to the hand, I Soul Blast 1 and add 4,000 power to something. So she's very good when going for a killing blow. Now, obvious 4 copies of the Ride Chain, Mermaid Idol Riviere. So if I ride Mermaid Idol on Cadet, I check the top 7 cards of my deck for the grade 2 or the grade 3 of the Ride Chain. Then the obvious 4 perfect guards. Very basic. Then 2 copies of this girl. What she does is when she's placed in the rear guard, I counterblast 1 and return a Bermuda Triangle back to my hand. So she helps if I need to keep pushing. So now we're going to move on into the grade 2s. Then it's 3 copies of the duo Damage and Flipper. When this card is bounced back to the hand, I Soul Charge 1, and then I guard the damage, because the deck is kind of counterblast heavy in the grade 3s. Next is 4 copies of the next set of the Ride Chain. The gimmick with the Riviere Ride Chain is if I ride Super Idol on Mermaid Idol and I get that in the soul, I draw a card. And she also gains 1,000 power permanently. Next is 4 copies of Pearl Sister Perlay. This card is old, but it helps with what I want to do with this deck, because once I reach my grade 3s, the soul really isn't that necessary, and being able to bounce back continuously stuff like this, so I can unfold damage, or this, so I can keep giving my Vanguard power, is very necessary in this deck. So you play 4 of her. Next is 4 copies of Top Idol Riviere. Riviere's effect is if you ride her on top of the grade, if you ride her on top of Super Idol's ability, if you ride Top Idol on top of Super Idol, you draw a card. Now, what Top Idol Riviere does is she is 11,000 base if you have Super Idol in the soul, and if she attacks and hits, you counterblast 2 and Persona Blast, you add 5,000 power to 2 of your rear guards. You really don't use her skill very often. More or less, the main reason you use her is for Rising Star Droite, if I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. What she does is, she is a Legion. She is one of the grade 3 Legions, so it's no really point of me showing you what the Legion looks like, but I'll do it anyways, because I love Riviere. So, what Rising Star Droite does, you counterblast 3 and discard 3 Bermuda Triangle units from your hand, and you restand this card. But if this card rides on top of Super Idol, you add a copy of Top Idol into your hand. So the main premise of this deck is you're always going to be attacking with the Vanguard first when you reach grade 3. Mainly because dealing with the restand and the potential ability to having an extra 10,000 power, and with the fact you run 8 criticals in this deck, is a really big threat. So normally, you're attempting to kill your opponent on the first time you attack with this, or the second time you attack with this. That's 9 times out of 10 when you're trying to kill them. Now, I know this has been a shorter deck profile, but a lot of you probably should already know what most of this stuff does. But if you guys want to see a longer deck profile of my new dimensional robo deck, I'll give you a little tidbit. It has that guy in it. Then tell me in the comments below. I have been your host, Blackwood Raven, and see you all in the next video.